I wanted to do this. I haven't done a review in a long time. This is not a 3-minute review, but this is not too long. Netflix reviews. So, season one I did a couple of years ago, and I am doing season. I'm also going to review Dark Crystal, the prequel that is a few years old, and I'll talk more about that later. But Wednesday, season two, 8 episodes. So, you got Jenna Ortega, we got Emma Myers, we got Christina Ricci. Also, another all special appearance with what's his name, Christopher Lloyd. You got Fred Armisen. You got Louis Guzman and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Here are the rest of the people. Hunter Dubin or Doohan. Yeah, Hunter Doohan. Evie Templeton. That's the girl that turns invisible. I'm going to get into spoilers right now, but I enjoyed this season. So if you don't want to know spoilers, you could just click off right now. There's Christina Ricci. Percy Hines White. That was, who was that? Xavier. Okay, yeah. There's some important characters. Catherine. Uh, Gwendolyn Christie. Leanna. Okay, there's some other there's some other important people in there. More cast. Let's see if I forget anybody. Yeah, I got Louis Guzman, Steve Buscemi. Yeah, he was the dean, the dean for the school. This kind of thing is that they had an easy way to do this. They took the Harry Potter sort of the backdrop, added sort of the Wednesday Gothic theme, and that was it. That's all they had to do. Joy Sunday, that's Bianca, the one with the mind control powers, I guess. Billy Piper, and there's some other ones. Let's see. These are the main ones I'm focused on here. So let's. What I'm going to do right now is go over the episode guide. So here come the spoilers. So I'm going to go over each episode and tell you what I thought of it. Then I'll give you the overall score. Isaac Ordonez is Pugsley. Yeah, because honestly, I forgot most of these episode plots. So let me take a look at this. We'll take a good look at this. Okay, so this is where we start at the beginning. Pugsley revives a zombie, calls him Slurp. Wednesday has a stalker. We don't know who that is. Yeah, this was very good. I really liked this one. The setup was very good. Pugsley has his own powers because I think the actor went through some changes, puberty being one of them. So he's like, hey, you know, Bianca to use her siren skills. Okay. And then there's sort of a so yeah, Bianca's the siren that tries to overtake the principal or the dean, and the dean's not going to have it. So the dean has a way to counter her siren spell for most of the series here, most of the second series. After hearing about a former student, yeah. So there's a whole thing about A Clockwork Heart, a guy who died, werewolves, and in the middle of all this, Wednesday's friend, I forget her name, she's gonna die, and she has to figure out how to save her. So this one I really like this one. And then we'll get to number two, The Devil You Wear, or The Devil You Woe. Wednesday finds Galpin killed by crows in his home. Okay, so there's a whole thing about crows, and that has to do with one of the characters that's in the mental hospital, like Arkham Asylum. This one's okay. Didn't like it as much as the first one, but Morticia. And then there's a whole thing about the book, the Goody Book. So there's this whole rivalry between Morticia and Wednesday, which I feel is like, does it feel forced to you? Does it feel like that whole thing is like, why does that need to happen? They get along okay in the first season, sort of. But then the second season, it's like they don't like each other at all. And I hated that she destroyed that book. So that was kind of fucked. Call of the Woe. I think this is this must be the camping one. This one I liked the least. This was it was like the camping scenes in the Addams Family Values, but less interesting. It was funny. It might have been funny, but I think this is a kind of a letdown for me. So I didn't like the third episode or the 11th episode in the series. So but it was to kind of get to secrets and stuff. It was mostly just for jokes. If these woes could talk, death certificates, Lois. Oh yeah, Lois. About it's sort of it's an anagram. Grandmama Hester Frump. Okay, so this is not Granny Adams who died. I think that's Gomez's mother, right? Wednesday Uncle Fester. Yeah, this is the one where uh, Fred Armisen comes back as Uncle Fester. And this is a very good episode. I like it. It kind of grew on me because Fred Armisen could do character actors all right. Uh, I don't really hate Cranky Kong so much. Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen, we could do without. I would do the voice right now, but I'm not feeling very well. But I could do the voice better than Seth Rogen. Anyway, this was very good. Helps Mysterious. Oh, okay. So this is where they break into the asylum. You have Slurp. Now Slurp has been sort of regrowing himself. He's been. Uh, there was an episode. One of the episodes, he's at the carnival, and Gomez sees Slurp walk away, and he wonders if Pugsley knew that he or had said something to him or had seen him. And Pugsley said he didn't see him. So you have the sheriffs involved because that skinny bald white dude he got killed at the beginning of this season, and so the sheriff, the chunky black sheriff, she's in charge. She doesn't do a great job. At some point, the sheriffs do get involved on the school campus, but there's a whole breakout at the asylum, and there's this woman. Now, the werewolf boy that we see in season one, we see his mother, and then there is the guy with no heart, and they've been living. They have been alive for decades, maybe centuries, but there's a whole story to that. I like that one. All right. Oh, this is part two. Uh, okay, so Wednesday's in a coma because the werewolf had attacked her. The guy from the first season. So um, Christina Ricci's character dies, and at some point, Christopher Lloyd's character. Christopher Lloyd plays a guy, a pickled head in a jar, in a glass case, and it's held up by machines, right? So he's a floating head. But Isaac Knight, the guy eats his brains. So the guy's eating brains. Isaac Knight was the scientist that worked on, I don't know if it was working on werewolves or what he was doing. He was like Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein. And then he died. And then Pugsley dug him up and then brought him to life. And then slowly he went from this, I don't know if it's the same actor or if it's a different actor, like a stunt actor doing the early zombie guy, and then later on you have the actor himself. Because sometimes they'll do that. If all you're doing is grunts and growls and you're just like wearing heavy makeup, it's probably somebody else. But at some point you get a beautiful, handsome actor to play the role of Isaac Knight. So Isaac kills the Christopher Lloyd head, and the werewolf kills Christina Ricci. And Wednesday's in a coma. Uh, so what's going on with her is that she could see her principal's ghost, the principal from the first season. That's the one that what's his face? The new guy took over. Who I forget right now who that is. Yeah, Steve Buscemi. So the original principal, the original dean, she's living in Wednesday's head to guide her to her destiny or whatever it is. And then there's that. And then um, there's a Freaky Friday moment at some point where Wednesday and her friend switch places. And her friend, I don't know her name. Am I going to find out? Woe thyself. Enid, yeah, Enid and Wednesday switch places. So Hyde, that's it, the Hydes. So they're not werewolves so much as they're Hydes. They have these like cartoon bulgy eyes and like exaggerated teeth and shit. Uh, okay, so yeah, this is a whole because it started out with Wednesday wearing clothes, and we learned that Wednesday is allergic to color, so she can't wear color. She can only wear black and white. Woe Me the Money. This is morning song called Morning Song. Okay, um, dance. Okay, I think this is the one where the principal Dort dies with a chandelier falling on his head. So they take away his magic charm, so he cannot resist the siren. So he admits to corrupting the school, killing people, killing the his partner in crime that he meets at the beginning of this episode. Which when you see a flashback to a character we don't care about, that's probably a dead giveaway that he's going to die in the episode. So that's how it is. Too obvious, but what can you do? So Principal Zord confesses his crimes, but he seizes Bianca as hostage. So this is the final confrontation between the principal and Wednesday, because the invisible friend, the redhead, the invisible friend, always pops up. So Wednesday had somebody who worked in the mental hospital stalk her with crows, right? Or threaten her life. And then there was the redhead who disappears all the time. And it's always sort of a plot device where you don't know if she's there watching different scenes where Wednesday's involved, that she reappears out of nowhere. So she's always disappearing and reappearing. And what's her face tried to use the siren on Wednesdays to make her forget what she had been told to remember about the overall plot. But the redhead pops out of nowhere to remind her of what she was told to forget, so that we can move the story along and end it. Because we get to episode 8 with the Hydes, the werewolves, and Isaac Knight, which we realized that Isaac Knight was wearing a glove, and that if you switch the letters around, it's Thing. So Thing is a right hand that belonged to Isaac Knight. So we learned Thing's origin story. And after all the bloodshed, mom and daughter barely speak to each other. Grandmama runs the school. So Grandmama Frump runs the Wednesday school, and Morticia and Wednesday barely talk to each other. I felt like the adversarial, the conflicts were just forced a bit. Fester still Fester. We still haven't seen Cousin It. Gomez is still Gomez. What are you doing, man? He's just like this fat chulo, papi chulo Gomez. If you know how, what is it? If you know how Louis Guzman is, get the character going. And what does he say? Do you know Puerto Rican judo? Judo know if I got a knife. Judo know if I got a gun. That's his joke for everyone. So let me give a score now for all these episodes. And so the whole season ends with Wednesday and Uncle Fester going on their bike, going off somewhere to go look for Enid, because Enid turned into a werewolf or into a Hyde to rescue Wednesday out of her burial. So that was the whole thing of the burial. The whole point and purpose of her being there. That the prophecy was that an Adams would die, so it'd be Wednesday. Or maybe it would have been Grandmama. People would have said Grandmama because you don't really see her too often, right? Or you don't know her very well. But Grandmama did not die, and Wednesday did not die because Enid sacrificed her humanity for Wednesday, and Wednesday's going to go look for her. And we'll see if there's a season 3. It's very difficult because Jenna's got so much star power, but if there's a point and a purpose and a reason, yeah. I mean, you gotta, and if Wednesday's she's a big Zack Snyder. Did you all know that she's a big Zack Snyder Justice League fan? She really is. What a woman that is. And if she's a fan of Cousin It, she may be sticking around for season 3. So now let's get my score. What am I going to give this? Let's see. 1.5. What shall I give it? How about this one? How about 4.5? I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. That's my overall score. I think there were some problems. There were some predictable. The camp episode is campy. So I give the camp episode maybe a 2.5 to 3. But I'm not going to rate the individual episodes. It's too much work for me to think, especially right now because I'm not feeling well. But 4.5 out of 5 for Wednesday Season 2. Coming up will be Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. And Mickey's Metal will be coming up hopefully this week.